Hello and welcome to another episode of HG Tundra Talk for Brandon Rooker, or for Aaron Wagner. I am Brandon Rooker. I keep doing that today. It's been an off day. I'm sorry. But today, Aaron, what are we talking about?
We're going to go through position by position and just talk about the players and possible Packer picks. So this one is the quarterbacks. It's obvious Andrew Luck's going number one. Pretty obvious that RG3 is going to go number two. Redskins gave up three first-round picks, a second-round pick to move up.
Yeah.
I want to move on to what do you think about Ryan Tannehill? He's only played 1 year quarterback in college, but he's projected to. He's a lot of upside. I think that's a lot of teams are banking on. He's projected to go first round at least, possible top half even.
Well, and the thing is too is with this year you have two supposedly outstanding franchise quarterbacks. Luck, some people are saying, is the best prospect coming out of college since Peyton Manning. RG3 is a guy that there was a whole bunch of teams trying to trade up to the number 2 pick to get him, and the Redskins eventually did that.
Yeah.
But my point is after that, Tannehill's the next best guy, and he's late first, early second. My point is unlike other years, you're not going to have quarterbacks probably going, 3 through 20, 3 through 25.
Right.
Which is a difference in the fact that a guy like Tannehill might not have been at this position last year, but this year he is.
Yeah.
And that's debatable. You can disagree with me if you want. But so I think that helps him out. I definitely think he is a guy that can go late first, and I think he can help Green Bay a lot by going late first. And what I mean by that is maybe some team takes him where they might be going with somebody else that the Packers would have had interest in. Therefore, that guy slips, and Green Bay might be affected by it. But I think he looks like a good quarterback. I think there's three good quarterbacks, and I think Luck and Griffin obviously are very good. Aaron, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Who do you like better, Luck or RG3? Who do you think's going to have a better NFL career?
Oh man, that's tough. I'd say Andrew Luck. Yeah, I think he's a prototypical quarterback. But Cam Newton had a lot of success at last year, so RG3 could. I would trust the Colts being a better team than the Redskins in the long run.
I agree with you on that. I think their management's
I'm
better,
more of an Andrew Luck fan than RG3. Speaking along that, about quarterback, Russell Wilson, we got him in his 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason is because he's short.
Yeah. Aaron and I were just talking about this.
If he was 2 to 3 inches taller, he'd be a first or second round pick, probably a first round. But that height holds him down. He was very accurate in college. I think whichever team, if you get a team like, that has a solid starting quarterback, let's use the Jets. You got Mark Sanchez, or even Buffalo. I know they just signed their quarterback to a big deal, but I think Russell, if they draft him in 4th, 5th round, he can, eventually compete for that job.
Oh, yeah. I think he'd be a perfect fit in Green Bay later on, too. I mean, we just saw a guy for the last couple of years in Matt Flynn, who was a 7th-round draft pick. Guy coming out of college, who was very successful in college, won a national championship at LSU, but wasn't looked at as being anything in the NFL. And now Green Bay, kind of works in the system a little bit. A couple years later now, he's one of probably the second biggest free agent quarterback on the market behind Peyton Manning. He would be first if not for Peyton Manning. But I think Wilson could be a guy that's just like Matt Flynn in the fact that work on his skills, show that he can play at this level, and then maybe someday become a free agent starting quarterback. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm just trying to think of any Packers possibilities.
Yeah.
I think the main thing with this draft is you got a lot of quarterbacks. You get your top 3 out of the way. You got a lot of quarterbacks that can go in that 2nd and 3rd round. You got your Kirk Cousins. You got your Brandon Weeden, Brock Osweiler, Nick Foles. You get some small school quarterbacks, but part of me thinks that they're not all going to go in the 2nd and 3rd round, so they're going to be pushed back farther. So some of those guys fall to the 5th round. Does Thompson say? Because personally, I'm not a big fan of Graham Harrell. If Rodgers goes down, I am not trusting.
Yeah.
Not like Matt.
And that's a good thing. A guy I like is Kellen Moore out of Boise State. I think he's been a very good collegiate quarterback. And he's a guy that I think is like Wilson in the fact that, see what happens. If he's there in the 6th, 7th round is what we have him ranked. I think it's a good draft pick because if you lose out on it and he doesn't do anything, you wasted a 6th or 7th round pick. those don't work out a lot of times.
Right.
But if it works out, yeah, you could have at least an adequate backup quarterback, or maybe even a guy like Matt Flynn. And it is unfair to expect any quarterback Green Bay drafts to be the next Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn is an anomaly. You know what I mean? He's a guy that, he obviously wasn't expected to do what he did. He's an overachiever and he's a fantastic quarterback. And it's unfair to expect that. But I think if you're Green Bay, what you're looking for is just somebody that's an adequate backup, a guy that will not lose you a game if Rodgers goes down. Not necessarily that they'll win you a game, but that they won't lose it for you. Let the defense try to win it in the running game and the receivers or whatever. So.
Yeah, that's basically my final thought too. Is that they're going to draft the quarterback maybe a little earlier than the 6th or 7th round, but
potentially it's all about who's there. I think.
Yeah, they will draft him for sure. It'll be interesting to see. So that's something to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on that, and keep an eye on where Ryan Tannehill goes.
Yeah.
Other than that, not much. Aaron Widener, Brandon Rooker.
Have a good one.